Bonjour, nous voici de retour en direct afin de vous présenter une partie des 120 artistes, carnettistes, réalisateurs, écrivains, voyageurs qui seront au 24e Rendez-vous international du Carnet de Voyage. C'est le plus grand festival au monde de carnet de voyage qui se déroulera du 15 au 17 novembre au centre Polydome à Clermont-Ferrand. Aujourd'hui, nous partons à Gênes en Italie pour rencontrer Ste Tirasso. C'est un dessinateur de BD et illustrateur. Lorsque l'artiste ne dessine pas dans ses carnets de voyage, il collabore avec les principaux éditeurs italiens sur des romans graphiques et des albums illustrés pour la jeunesse. On va discuter en anglais avec Ste, qui est le raccourci de Stefano. Buongiorno, Stefano.
Buongiorno, bonjour à tous.
Bonjour. How did you become an illustrator and cartoonist?
Right. I've become an illustrator and cartoonist once finished the art high school, and then I attended a comic academy in Turin, and after my studies, I did a few jobs in other fields, but I've always kept drawing. And one day, a publisher, Bao Publishing, who's an Italian publisher of graphic novel and comics, contacted me asking to work on a story together. And then I understood that this could be my job.
Okay. And you work with leading Italian publishers on graphic novels and illustrated albums for young people. Can you explain what are your missions?
Yes, I love to work for a children's and kids book because I've always been a great reader. When I was a kid, I read tons of books, comics, and novel as well, and I've always wondered who wrote those books, who illustrated them, and I wish to be one of them in the future. So every book I draw or I write, I think on the children nowadays who wonder who is the illustrator, the cartoonist behind the book, and it's pretty fun for me.
Okay. And you are also a live painter for sport events. Is it different to draw live events and carnet de voyage?
Yes, it's
Okay.
a lot different. I worked once as a live painter for the Italian TV, and I had to paint this big panel. It was 2 meters tall, and I had to do it in a couple of hours, and it's been hard because there was little time and the surface was big. And the Carnet de Voyage, it's a bit different because it's a little time sometimes, but the space is very much smaller. So it's a lot of difference. There's a lot of difference.
And when did you start drawing carnet de voyage?
I started, I think, my first Carnet de Voyage. It's been drawn in 2016 or 17, so 7 years ago. And the first one was from Japan in a travel in my first trip in Japan. And it's funny because in the Rendezvous in Clermont-Ferrand, I'll exhibit my second trip in Japan, Carnet de Voyage, and it's really nice. But I've always drawn a lot of sketchbooks from my town, Genoa. So that one in Japan was the first one outside Italy. But I've always draw a lot of things in around in the streets.
And can you tell us a bit more about what you will exhibit at the festival?
Yes, sure. I can show it now.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So I try to enter. Okay. Okay. This is my carnet from Japan. It's been drawn last year in 2023, and it's a leporello carnet. So it's all long, and I made this trip with my family, my wife, and my parents who never been to Japan. They wished to go in Japan, so I'll tell them let's go together. And I really enjoyed to draw this carnet because Japan is a place that I love, and I tried to paint the little shop, the vending machines, animals as well, but a lot of food, and it's been really nice. This is the carnet I'll exhibit in Clermont-Ferrand, and then I have some others like this one in Venice. And this summer I went to Sri Lanka, and so I'm starting to complete my carnet from Sri Lanka as well. So I'll show in my desk a bit of this voyage.
Great. And usually, what kind of material do you use for your carnet voyage?
I use mostly ink and watercolors. Sometimes I use this Ecolin ink too,
Okay.
but they're not so so it's a bit difficult to bring them in a trip. So in a trip, I use mostly watercolors, some small set, and ink and pens like this one. This is my kit.
Okay.
Uh, Usually, I use very very less of these pens. I use 3-4 pens for a trip. I don't like to bring too much tools with me because I know myself, and I know that when I'm on the situation of travel, I use 3-4 pens, one brush for the watercolors, and that's it.
Okay. And usually you draw everything when you are in the place, or when you go back home, you finish your
It,
work.
it depends. I try to draw a little sketch with pencil every time because it's pretty important for me to figure it out when I'm on the place. Then sometimes when I have time, I complete the drawings in the place, and other times if I'm a little bit hurry, I complete it on the room in the hotel in the evening, or at home when I come back in Italy. And in Japan, for example, I completed some of my drawings in the train, because they have these trains super rapid and very they don't move too much. I don't know
Okay.
what to say.
Perfect
So
to draw.
yes, it was perfect to draw. So I completed some drawings directly on the train.
And when you are in Italy, can you show us where you draw?
Sure. I'm in my studio.
Okay.
It's a place that I have in common with a team of illustrators and cartoonists and graphics, and we call Studio Remigo. That's
Okay.
a Genoese word who means a sketch, a scribble. And this is in the historical center of Genoa. This is the
Oh, great.
view
Nice view.
outside the
Mhm.
window. This is a church. And we are lucky because yesterday it rained all day, while today the weather is really good.
Okay, perfect. Now I want to know more about what you like. Tell me what drawing or painting would you have loved to create?
Okay. I really enjoy drawing food. Talking
Okay.
about Carnet de Voyage, my favorite argument to draw about is the food I eat in the country I visit, and I think I don't know, it relaxes me too, to drawing food, while the backgrounds or the architectures are, of course, more complicated, and they're more difficult to draw. When I draw food, and of course, when I draw food, I draw it later.
Okay.
I take a photo, and I eat it, and then later I draw it, and it's really fun for me to drawing food.
Okay.
And I don't know, in my work outside the Carnet de Voyage, I enjoy drawing in the comics. I like to draw sequences of page without words. I really like the silent page of the comics, because there you can express the characters, the feelings of the characters without the words, and that's a really fun exercise to make a good recitation of the character.
Great. And what book do you recommend us to read?
Oh, okay. I recommend this one, but I really love the author in all these books, and it's Guy Delisle, who's
Okay.
a Canadian comic book artist, and he drew graphic novel from his travel around the world, and he showed all the good and the bad things of that country he visited. Of course, he went to some critical country like North Korea, Israel, Myanmar, and I really like his point of view. He's he mix the irony and the fun of some situation with the dramatic context sometimes he goes into. So I really love Kidalin.
And I'm giving you a one-way ticket. Where are you going? So you can't go back home.
Uh, it's a bit complicated, but I think I'll go in Japan. I really love the Japan. Always fascinated me since when I was a kid, and later I discovered a country more complicated than just pop culture, manga, anime. Of course, Japan, it's far to be from being a perfect country. There's a lot of controversial things, but I'd really love to explore it more and more and more, and to understand better their culture. I really love Asia. I've been in just only 3 countries in Asia that are Japan, Thailand, and Sri Lanka. And I wish to go in many other countries. I wish I could go in Nepal, in Vietnam, but for a one-way ticket, maybe I'll take Japan.
Okay, perfect. And last question, what's the dream you've yet to fulfill?
I don't know. My goal is to keep on drawing for living and to tell stories, drawing a lot of comics. I wish to uh, to write more adult graphic novel in the future, because inside me there's a voice who like to write stories for older people than the one I talk about in at the moment. My drawing style is still connected to children and teenage books, but I'm trying to evolve this style. And Carnet de Voyage, by the way, are helping me a lot to exploring this new style, more adult. And I really love to make to draw some stories a little more complicated in the future. It's like I'm trying to evolve myself.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Ste. See you next
Thank
month
you.
at the festival.
I
Bye-bye.
can't wait.
Yeah.
Bye.